clock ticks 10 left and right. Loops of drums slowly rising. Melodic vocal initializing. System surge. Reverse reverb leads into snare. Build up cranium wave noise. Swelling like broken data. Build up rapid fire glitch. Riser pitch bend stutters buffer skips. Snare roll increasingly distorted. Vocal fragments glitch out. Glitch sudden fake drop silence then voice. Shows between baseline and correcting. Left and right, no sub drums slowly rising. With sub drums slowly rising. Melodic vocal initializing. Snare broken clock ticks band left and right. No sub drums slowly rising. Slowly rising. Melodic vocal initializing. System surge. Versus sudden bass pop. Turning white noise. Swelling like no crash. Synthwave followed by silence. Slowly rising. Sliding close from system reboot of spirit. System surge. Wolf surge. Rhythm sudden bass pop. Reverb from burn comes down. Not pitching on purpose. Kick drum fades in and out with one sing. Sing. Need a sweet melody. Run to pitch errors. Run the blue pitch errors. Box. It's a low plug. It's not mid drum sharper and more broken like it's glitching on purpose. Kick drum fades in and out with one sing. I'm sure you see the bad crunch. Try to freak you with the knife. But I'm you to see the lines. It gets a clash. Melody started fake drums. Ran into super bass church. Shreddle distorted boom pitch, shreddle metallic. Sudden fake drop, silent simple voice so turkey on the call crush. Bass on a beat with the long crush. Urban turkey syncopated on a ball crush. Bass on a chicken feet up with butter. Big on a full chaos. Noise stills made from this is fluid. The body crush off the three howl. Crush, jumps the three howl. Crush sits with the big crush. Turkey syncopated, unexpected pun and good church. Future syncopated, unbearable turning to big loss. Jumps the three high lows. Side chain, kick with this into white crush. Turkey syncopated, unexpected crush. Syncopated, pun and jumps the three high low. Bass goes more than big drops. Silence the cold duck drops. Control the heat. I'm letting the baby on the syncopated. On a stick the block. Turkey syncopated, on it with your bosses. Go to the research. To let the syncopated hit it when it's the dead pauses. Go to the research. Hit the loop. The turret shit up the electro chaos. No strokes made from the story. Back and lost the data errors. Crash set from the free on itself. Looking on itself like a crash it down. Search, down, punch, short, certain bass pop. Welcome up there. I know what you're looking different. Turn the launch. Research. Let's rise and hold it on this phone like a crashing dog. Initializing with the surge. Starting bass pop. Being one drum stronger than one broken like a discovered metal. Tell me like rush. Red on. Pleasure just watching. Singing on. Even putting this hurt. Even like out. Final distorted batting. Nothing but some returning melody. One to picture and I'm a vision. No one out. Final distorted pictures of nowhere. Starting bass point. More stone. Welcome to reflected broken data. The broken crashing over a bus. Drum fades in and out with heart sinking. Simply distorted distorted melody. Going through pitch errors. Pause. System error. System error. Surge complete. Windows in a break. Search complete in space on it, it's not very low. You're thinking about first, and why you took the play, you're like going bars. And all the simple bursts, final pause, in and out time, you're outside the bar. You're a drone zombie, and face in the corner, turn the demon audio, burn down, final whisper. Demon on the house, final distorted tone, pitch shift downward. Silence a single corrupted claim. Then click, wait in the corner, start. Too long, get out time, back off. Big drops, value can raise in this whisper, demon locked out. Running before the tone inside of distorted tone. Pitch shifts downward. Silence, single corrupted click. They start a glitch. Left and right.
Broken clock, kicks band left and right. Low sub drone slowly rising. Robotic vocal. Reverse, silver, reverb leads into sand. Building grainy white noise swelling like broken data. Rapid fire glitch, riser pitch bend stutters, buffer skips, snare roll increasingly distorted. Vocal fragments glitch out. Sudden fake dropped, silence and voice. Bass on concrete and loud crunch. Melody is syncopated, blended by left and pauses. The surge, bass on the range, with alpha chaos. Force cells don't slip from the third packet lossing data. Crisis followed by silence. Slowly rising sign, pulse like system reboot. Heavy and past glitching with an out of phase. Vocal whispers, or corrupted glitch. Spreading, distant stutters and modulated echoes build up. Build machine film skips and restarts. Riser folds in on itself like a crashing dog. Found and locked out. Final distorted tone pitch. Bass one. Final bars hit, halftime is massive, no first free drops audio to create into crackle and static. Robotic whisper, hidden lockdown, final distorted tone, pitch shift, downwards, silence, zero corrupt or erupted click. Fuzzy halftime is massive, no end. Nitrate drops audio to create into crackle and static. Robotic whisper, hidden lockdown, final distorted tone, pitch shifts downward, silence, a single corrupted click. Surgeon fake drops silence, then voice. Baseline aggressive, modulated, and the crutch. Touchy syncopated, unexpected pauses, glitchful, glitch, surge. Filtering threading, distant stutters and modulated echoes. Machine snare loops, skips and restarts. Glitch riser folds in on itself like a crashing dog. Reimpacts glitch in and out of phase. Vocal whispers, core corrupted glitch. Spreading distant stutters and modulated echoes. Baseline stutters and modulated echoes. Build up, hit, snare, loop, skips and restarts like a crashing sign. Pulse like system reboots and a crashing star. Reboot ambient tap. Vocal whispers, hurt spreading distant stutters and modulated echoes. Drum machine snare loops, skips and restarts like a crashing daw. Vocal loop and a crashing daw. Vocal loop, the pitch, daw. Vocal pitch errors, verge, verse, search. Distant muffled club bass as if overheard through walls. Gold clinking FX layered with final crackle. Slow filtered 808s pulls under airy trap hats. Ghost 808 flex mode activated. Crowd noise fades in and cuts the silence into build up. Snare roll filtered and rising with metallic delay. Gold coin FX cascade like rain. Gold chain, hertz drop. Subsweep rises, tension builds with vocal stutter. Final line, flex drop. Now baseline deep saturated 808s platform style respace. Final stops in stereo panning. Melody grog stops in feed and call. Her panning strips the sub-trap hats. Full cool, collects like gold, move like bass. Filtered sparkle pad shimmers, overload drone. Diamond sparkle effects and deep exhale into riser. Links upper chain grappler. Sub-certified, syncopated bass swing at serious bounce. Mid-drop breakdown, kick cuts. Hell filters down into tremble. Gold chain effects return, sewing like in a time loop. Vocal hits, flex, over, gold chain. Over, gold chain effects return, sewing like in a time loop. Hertz, fade, flex, over. muffled club basses under their walls. Gold clinking effects layered final crackle. Low filter 808s, pulse on their airy trap hats.
Ghost 808, flex mode activated.
Growling meditates and cuts to silence into build. Build up, filtered and rising with metallic delay. Gold coin effects cascade like rain. Gold chain, herbs drop.
Sleep rises, tension builds with full stir. Final line, flex drop now.
Deep saturated 808s, then style re-space.
Gold chain, hurts, drop.
Steps suppressed, that's a reward your walls. Gold painting as expired, with final crackle. Slow filtered 808s, pulse under airy trap hats.
Gold 808s, pulse under airy trap dust. 808s, pulse under airy action bursts of a control. Diamond sparkle facts and exhale into riser. Build up, deep loop, down. Submade, crap filtered, gap kick cuts to the various notes. Into build.
Snaring low filtered and rising with metallic delay. Gold coin effects cascade like rain.
Gold chain, hurts, drop. Subsweep, rises, tension builds with vocal stutter. Science like this, tension builds with fire.
Final line, flex up belt with the grade.
Bass hits, drop, now. Thirds, over.
Deep saturated 808s, with spotted drums. Gold coin effects cascade like rain.
Gold chain, hurts, hurts, drop. Subsweep rises, tension builds with vocal stutter. Final 808s.
Deep saturated 808s, deep style re-space. Kick hits saturated with distorted trap, style re-space. Kick hits punching ordered, distorted trap snare.
Chants. Each fills with final stops and stereo panning. Melody grind and stops and stereo panning. Melody crop, stops and stirring.
Deep strips the subtract hats.
Flex like gold, move like bass. Filtered sparkle patch shimmers over low drone.
Diamond sparkle effects and deep exhale.
Into riser.
Build up to filter almost stops and
Stereo panning.
melody grinding with aspire synthwave call.
Beat strips this subtrap hacks. Vocal work flies like gold, move like bass.
Filter sparkle patch shimmers over low drone. Diamond sparkle effects and deep exhale.
Into riser. Stop on the phone. Melody. Vocal repeat. Back for the crown.
Snare rush gets tighter, stereo widening.
Final line, lit, flat, short, silenced, drop. New baseline switches to stuttering glide mode. Note, lead skip, and sharp are more fussive. Vocal ad-libs.
Bang stubber, chain rattler, subsurvive, syncopated, bass swing at serious bounce.
Mid drop right down, kick down, kick downs. Swing that snooks, 2 counts. Mid drop right down, kick down, kick down, kick down, kick down, kick down, kick down.
Baseline filters down into tremble. Gold chain effects return slow like in a time loop.
Go, head front, effects, over. Ends on a reversed final, spit out into silence. In the graveyard, wind sounds mixed with distant thunder. Low, ominous drone layered with subtle, eerie vocal whispers. Whispers from the grave. Sparse metallic percussion, chains rattling and soft clinks. Filtered sub-bass pulses slowly beneath atmospheric paths. Soft reversed cymbal swells leading to build. Build up. Snare roll increases in speed with reverb and delay. Rising bass growl filtered under a sweeping low pass filter. Chopped vocal samples. Haze. From the depths. Chopped vocal samples. Haze. Riser crescendo sharply to drop. Heavy distorted bass line with deep sub-presence and wobble LFO. Driving 4/4 kick with punchy claps and sharp hi-hats. synth stabs cut through the mix, syncopated rhythmically, vocal stabbed layered with delay, graveyard bass, glitches and reverse sounds add atmospheric tension. Bass modulation evolves every 8 bars to keep energy dynamic. Beat cuts out, leading eerie pads and distant synth blocks. Whispered vocal line beneath the soil, metallic hits and soft wind effects create space. Sub-bass drone underpins tension before next build up. Intensifies with layered claps and rising pitch. Vocal chops speed up, graveyard bass, rise again. Rising distorted bass growl with phaser effect. Final bar, silent pause, crash. Bass then turns heavier, more distorted with sharper wobble and pitch slides. Lead synths become more aggressive with modulation. Floating low, graveyard bass ends on soft white noise and distant thunder fade out. White noise, white noise, white noise, white noise, white noise, white noise, bass, backs and distant thunder. Bright noise riser crescendo sharply to drop. Heavy distorted bass line with deep sub-presence and wobble LFO. Driving 4/4 kick with punchy claps and sharp hi-hats. Dark sharp synth stabs cut through the mix, syncopated rhythmically, vocal stabbed layered with delay. Graveyard bass, glitches and reversed sounds add atmosphere and tension. Bass modulation evolves every 8 bars to keep energy dynamic. Beat cuts out, leaving eerie pads and distant synth plucks. Whispered vocal line. Graveyard wind sounds mixed with distant thunder low. Ominous glow layered with subtle, eerie vocal whispers. From the graveyard, starters metallic percussion chains rattling and soft clink filter. Sun bass pulses slowly beneath atmospheric pads. Soft reverse cymbals swells leading to build. Snare increases the speed with reverb and delay. Rising bass growl filtered under sweeping low pass filter house. Chops down. Rise from the depths and dark haunting melody begins. White noise rises crescendo sharply to drop. Presence and wobble alpha, driving 4/4 kick with punchy claps and sharp hi-hats. Dark shards, synth stabs cut through the mix, syncopated rhythmically, vocal stab layered delay. Graveyard bass beneath the soil. Metallic hits and soft wind effects create space. Sub-bass drone underpins tension before next build. Snare rush intensifies with layered claps and rising pitch. Vocal chops speed up, rise again. Rising distorted bass growl with phaser effect. Final bar, silent pause, crash, trash. Bass returns heavy on more distorted with sharper wobble and pitch slides. Less bass become more aggressive with modulation. Phantom low, graveyard bass. Graveyard bass coding triplet hi-hats and glitch fills. Mid-drop half-time before full energy rebuilds. Goodness rally strip away to airy pads and fading bass pulses. Rest in bass forevermore. Ends on soft white noise and distant thunder fade out. Atmospheric synth pads with a dark cavernous reverb. Low rumbling sub-bass, pulsing like a heartbeat. Distant mechanical clanks and reactor hums. Whispered vocal sample, power rising and very hot. Soft metallic percussion that filtered white noise sweeps build tension. Snare roll with increasing velocity and echo. Rising distorted synth arpeggio layered with dark bass growls. Midnight reactor power. Filtered bass sweep rises to peak. Sharp riser crashes into drop. Heavy distorted bass line with wobble and glide of heat. Distant mechanical clanks and reactor hums. Whispered vocal sample. Power rising. Power rising. Midnight reactor online. Metallic hits and echoing clicks create space. Sub-bass sustains low, creating tension before next build. Layer with wire, with rising white noise. Vocal chops quicken, echo. Rising white noise. Vocal chops quicken, real moles. Channel with increasing velocity and echo. Rising distorted synth arpeggio layered with a echo. Rising distorted synth more aggressive with pitched bends and modulation. Knock shifter, midnight reactor. Complex percussion including triple hi-hats and range fills. Mid-drop breakdown briefly reduces intensity before ramping up. Elements peel away to airy pads and fading bass pulses. Final whispered vocal fade. Power down, reactor off. Filtered bass sweep rises to peak. Sharp riser crashes into drop. Heavy splintered bass line with wobble and glide. Heavy distorted bass line with wobble and glide effects. Box and snaps with aggressive peak. Sharp riser crashes into drop. Heavy distorted bass line with wobble and glide effects. Box and snaps with a crest and snappy hi-hat. Box and snaps with aggressive modulation. Box and snaps with aggressive modulation. Vocal shouts layered with delay. Midnight reactor. They last beyond on bass riddles and it's modulate. Midnight reactor. Atmospheric synth pads with a dark cavernous reverb. Low rumbling sub-bass, pulsing like a heartbeat. Distant mechanical clanks and reactor hums. Whispered vocal sample, power rising, midnight reactor online. Soft metallic percussion, pressing like a noise, sweeps build tension. Snare roll with increasing velocity and echo. Rising distorted synth modulated with dark bass growls. Vocal increasing velocity and echo. Rising distorted synth arpeggio layered with dark bass growls. Midnight reactor power. Filtered bass sweep rises to peak. Sharp riser crashes into drop. Distorted bassline with wobble and glide effects. Thin mechanical clanks. Reactor hums. Whispered vocal line. Reactor hums. Whispered vocal sample. Midnight reactor online. Soft metallic clanks and reactor hums. Whispered vocal sample. Midnight reactor online. Whispered vocal sample. Midnight reactor online. Soft metallic clanks and reactor online. Soft metallic clanks and reactor hums. Whispered vocal sample. Midnight reactor online. Soft metallic percussion infusing white noise. Vocal chops quicken, breaking, reduces intensity before ramping up. Sail away to airy pads, invading bass pulses. Final whispered vocal fade. Power. Sound reactor off. The noise. Soft white noise fade out. Dark bass growls. Whispered vocal sample. Midnight reactor online. sample. Midnight Reactor online. Filtered bass sweep rises to peak. Sharp riser crashes into drop. Distorted bassline with bobble and glide effects. Distant mechanical clanks and reactor hums. Whispered vocal kick with tight crisp laps. Snappy hi-hats, dark synth stabs with aggressive modulation. Midnight Reactor hydrogen atmosphere. Bass rhythm with filtered buzzer rhythm. Midnight Reactor. Richness and reverse cymbals enhance the atmosphere. Bass rhythm shift. Maintain momentum. Beat drops out to eerie pads and distant synth drones. Villagey flowing, energy flowing in the dark. Metallic hits and echoing clicks create space. Drum bass sustains low, creating tension before next build. Build up to more repeats in a row, layered with rising white noise. Vocal chops quicken. Riggin, reactor, power in that dark. Output beacon. Reared. You're off.
Soft and past, shimmering textures like city lights. Light up George box sparkle in the background. Loaded vocal sample, neon lights, city night. Subtle kick drum pulse with fills and white noise sweeps. Gentle rhythmic hi-hats begin to build momentum. Snare roll accelerates with increasing reverb and delay. Like sit arpeggio rises with the smooth glide. And on skyline, bass growl starts to swell beneath the sweeping low-pass filter. Rising synth riser leads into drop. Thick, punchy bassline with the level and side chain pumping. Four on the floor kick with snappy claps and rolling hi-hats bright. Melodic synth lead with glide and vibrato. Neon skyline. Pitch effects and stereo delays add movement and depth. Bass modulation varies subtly every 8 bars to keep energy fresh. Beat drops out, leaving airy synth pads and gentle plucks. So, build a neon sky. Filter sweeps and reverse cymbals create space-vicious atmosphere. Sub-bass hums softly underneath. The warmth and dissipation, neon lights, and hearts more intense and layered. Bassline returns fuller and richer with added static, both static or complex and energetic. Neon skyline, neon percussion thickens with triplet hi-hats and crash cymbals. Mid-drop breakdown strips elements briefly before building back. Elements gradually fade, leaving soft pads and distant bass pulses. Final vocal echo fades and energetic. Dance with filter white noise and gentle synth fade. Neon lights thickens with triplet hi-hats and crash cymbals. Mid-drop breakdown strips elements briefly before building back. Elements gradually fade, leaving soft pads and distant bass pulses. Final vocal echo fades. Neon lights, city night. Dance with filter white noise and gentle synth fade. Neon skyline. Bassline with the level and side chain pumping. Four on the floor kick with snappy claps and rolling hi-hats bright. Melodic simply with glide and vibrato. Neon skyline. Rich effects and stereo delays add movement and depth. Bass modulation varies subtly every 8 bars to keep energy fresh. Beat drops out, leaving airy synth pads and gentle plucks. Silver synth pads, shimmering textures like George Ducks sparkle in the background. Filtered vocal sample. Neon lights, city night. Subtle kick, drum pulse with filtered white noise sweeps. Gentle rhythmic hi-hats begin to build momentum. Snare roll accelerates with increasing reverb and delay. Bright synth arpeggio rises with a smooth glide. Vocal chops, rotin, rises with the smooth glide. That on skyline. Bass growl starts to swell beneath the sweeping low-pass filter. Rising synth riser leads into drop. Punchy bassline with the little inside chain pumping. Four on the floor kick with snappy claps and roll chops. Unmoving and airy synth hats and gentle plucks. Soft vocal line, podcast skyline. Filter sweeps and reverse cymbals. Replace and reverse cymbals create space-based atmosphere. So bass comes softly underneath, building anticipation. Snare roll returns more intense and layered. Vertical drop, master, neon skyline, neon skyline. Rising bass growl with phaser and dismotion. Final bar silence, crash into drop. Bassline returns fuller and richer with aesthetic. Vocal chop layer rhythmically with delay and reverb. Neon lights, city night, neon. Persian pins the triplet hi-hats and crash cymbals. Mid-drop breakdown strips elements briefly before building back. Elements gradually fade, leaving soft pads and distant bass pulses. Final vocal echo fades. Neon lights, city night. Ends with filtered white noise and gentle synth fade. Rising synth riser leads into drop. Pinky bop. Pumping. Thick, punchy bassline with the loop inside chain pumping. Helping. For the forward kick with snappy claps and rolling hi-hats. Bright hats. Bright melodic synth rhythmically. Neon skyline. Neon skyline. Punch effects and stereo delays add movement and depth. Bay modulation very subtly every 8 bars to keep energy fresh. 8 drops out leaving airy synth pads and gentle clucks. Soft vocal line, rerun skyline. Glitch effects and stereo delays add movement and depth. Bass modulation very subtly every 8 bars to keep energy fresh. Beat drops out leaving airy synth pads and gentle plucks. Soft vocal line, the timbre bounce go around. Vocal suits and reversed cymbals. High-pitched tuning drums modulating with a neural frequency.
Melodic voice, neural filter. Low filtered kick pulses slowly in. Tension builds, metal winds and a level trembles. Dark snare roll with increasing speed. Open neural bassline tease through low pass filter. Verbal pulse, vocal collision. Synth riser with glitch, scratch and pitch bend.
My silent single reverse snare hit.
Then distorted neural bass groove lock with driving form the 4 kicks. Laser sharp high-end leads punctuating between bars. Hitting bass most every 4 bars. Where body glitch feels interrupt rhythm between drops. Sub drum fades to ambient static. Filtered thin art slowly rising bits. Whispered vocals, overload commencing. Effects buzzing like cross neural wire short circuit. Bass pulses return, chop and gate. Snare roll builds back up with heavy distortion. Vocal chops faster and more chaotic. Neural pulse. Final pulse, silence drop. New bass patterns, the automation. Will sync lead now to a bit of screen track. Synthwave loops, freezes, problems, read engaged. Neural pulse, thread of LFO automation. Feels like everything's shaking, gradual collapse of rhythm elements. Synthwave will feedback into static. Final vocal build like teased. Broken up, connection lost. Ends on a pure sine wave that fades into nothing. That fades into nothing. That fades into nothing. Lars. Collision initiated, bass morphs every floor bars. Vocab sibling piston between bars. Vocal snap, crash and rate punctuating between bars. Vocal snap, collision initiated, bass morphs every floor bars.
Orange driving form the floor kicks.
Laser sharp high-end leads punctuating between bars. Low stat, into ambient static. Filtered synth vibes slowly rise in pitch. Whispered vocal. Overload commencing. Overload commencing. That is buzzing like cross neural wire short-circuiting. Bass pulses turn chopped and gating. Snare roll builds back up with heavy distortion. Vocal chop faster and more chaotic. Neuropulse, neuropulse, neuropulse. Final glitch, silence drop. New bitch, silence drop. New bitch, silence drop. New bitch, silence drop.
High pitch synthetic drum modulating like a neural frequency.
Robotic voice, not neural stream.
A low filter kick pulses slowly in. Tension builds with mechanical lines and LFO trembles.
Sharp snare roll with increasing speed.
As a neural baseline piece through low pass filter.
The vocal slice, neural collision.
Synthesizer with glitch, stretch and pitch bend.
Brief silence, single reverse snare hit. Thick, distorted neural bass groove locked with driving four on the floor kicks. Laser sharp high-end leads punctuating between bars. Collision initiated. Bass morphs every four bars. Melodic glitch fills, interrupt rhythm between drops. Sub-drum fades to ambient static. Filtered synth arc slowly rise in pitch. Whispered vocal. Synaptic drift overload commencing. Flex, buzzing like cross neural wires and elevating like cross neural wires short-circuiting. Bass pulses return chopped and gated. Snare roll builds back up with heavy distortion. Vocal chop faster and more chaotic. Neuropulse, neuropulse, neuropulse. Final glitch, silence drop.
Bass patterns syncopated mid-heavy stuttered modulation.
Perpetual collapse of rhythm elements. Synth delay loops feedback into static. Phono vocal bass. Neuropulse, loss. Ends on a pure sine wave that fades into nothing. Digital static and reverse synth path swirl. First sparks echo like distant particles colliding. Quantum rumble. Filtered kick drum pulses slowly repeat. A bass humming underneath. Rising white noise and mechanical click build tension. Snare roll accelerates with glitch effects and pitch bends. Bass gravities behind a sweeping filter. Rumble, 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 layered and pitch shifted. Synthesizer sweeps upward with metallic textures. Sharp digital blips increase in speed. Thick distorted bassline with a blow at LFO and the cold with a second clap on the offbeat. High pitch synth stab slice through the mix. Vocal rumble, rumble, layered and pitchy fills the tail snares with stereo panning, create chaotic movement. These pitch shades aggregate bars with modulation and distortion changes. Vocal rumble, rumble. He cuts out atmospheric pads and filtered synth plugs. Rumble, 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 rumble. Rising bass growl with phaser effect. Final moment, silent, sharp crash. Bassline returns heavier with heavy percents and subtle bass in. Snare roll accelerates with glitch effects and pitch bends. Bass growl tease behind a sweeping filter. rumble, rumble. Layered and pitch shifted. Rising bass growl with phaser effect. Final moment, silent sharp crash. Baseline returns heavier with added percents and subtle bass in. Fare away, leaving filtered synth pads and subtle bass pulses. Phantom rumble fading.